Thank you. So let's give a big ScienceYou welcome to our first guests, Blayne Cowan and his teacher, April Collins from Martin Luther King High School here in Nashville, Tennessee. How are you, Blayne?
Doing great.
How are you, Miss Collins?
Great, how are you?
Pleasure to meet you. Well, I know you, so why should I even say that?
Because it's true.
Because fair enough, fair enough. So, tell me a little something about yourself, Blayne.
Well, the obvious, I'm a high school student, junior at MLK. I like playing trombone. I'm in a couple orchestras around Nashville, pre-college at Blayne, which is at Vanderbilt University. So I do a lot of stuff, and especially what I've been working with you lately is the Rocket Club, setting all of that up for the NASA competitions. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah.
You know, we have something in common you didn't know about. I play trombone too.
Really?
Yeah, played in the Grambling State University Tiger Marching Band, waxing bands all over the country. No offense, Tennessee State. But anyway, yeah, some people out there just looked at me real dirty. But nevertheless, okay, so tell us about the whole rocket team thing. What inspired you to want to do a rocket team?
That's a good question. I'm still not sure myself, but I have a friend at Father Ryan High School who himself, another student, and a couple of teachers sort of put together their form of rocket club where they're just sort of having fun with model rocketry. And it was the last day of spring break, and I was trying to fall asleep before school in the morning, and I just couldn't. And then it just kind of hit me. I want to leave a legacy at MLK, so I might as well set up my own rocket club at MLK and do a couple competitions, have some fun, launch some rockets, watch them crash, maybe, hopefully not, especially in the competition.
Yeah, you know. The funny thing about rocket crashes, it's like they hit the ground and they go into this big chaotic boom, and it's like, that was so cool, but that was my rocket. Exactly.
Oh no.
So, and April, so let me ask, how did you two come together to kind of bring this whole rocket thing together?
Well, it's interesting. I think a few months back, I had come to Fisk and I was saying, you know, we have a lot of students at our school who could really benefit from being able to be on a rocket team. And I was asking, hey, do you mind if we send a couple students over to your school so that maybe they can join your rocket team? You were like, yeah, sure. And then I think after spring break, it was just so amazing. Blayne just walked up to me like, hey, you think they would let us start a rocket team here? And I'm like, yes. And ever since then, we've just been communicating and talking, and he's really been just diligent about going from place to place, getting as much information as he can about the rocket team and how to found it, and he's our guy. So it's been pretty great.
That's totally cool.
So April, then, how do you feel the role of a relationship between high schools and higher education institutions, especially since we have so many of them in this town, can be a benefit for students?
I think it's imperative. I think it's something that has to happen. I know that between Fisk and Vanderbilt, they both have rocket teams, and you have a lot of high schools who don't necessarily have the resources and the actual facilities to be able to host a rocket team or to have those types of I want to say partnerships, but you know, it's important that we have those partnerships so these students can kind of get the exposure that they need. And to be able to see other schools and to see what they can be and to see what it could lead to and help them be more prepared for college.
So a chance to inspire.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, what year teacher are you?
Officially 2. This
Two.
is my second year. But I taught interim for about 3 semesters prior to that, so about 2.5 of a year.
So what is it like being a second and a half, third year teacher at a one of the best magnet, academies in Nashville, Tennessee? What kind of pressure was that? Was there pressure?
In the country.
Yeah, in the country at that, yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely one when I first came in. You know how you have that little imposter syndrome? Like, I'm gonna get in here and I'm gonna feel like I don't know anything, right? And the kids are gonna show me up, But it's actually been a very rewarding experience. It's been amazing for me just because the students are so inspiring, because they're really interested. They have a lot of self-efficacy. They're really motivated. And so for someone coming someone like me who came from a traditional public school, it's just been eye-opening. And it's definitely helped me to be a better person. I learn from them every day just like they learn from me.
And so Blayne, I mean, how do you feel about having somebody like this that's really engaged in trying to expand the horizons?
I think it is absolutely fabulous having teachers at MLK who are very dedicated to the student body to help make stuff like this actually happen, because we don't have that high of a student morale at MLK, and so things usually get brushed by, but occasionally with teachers like Ms. Collins and our engineering teacher, Dr. Newsom, they really put their foot down and say, no, this is going to happen. And they work day and night to make sure stuff for the students like this, the Rocket Club, actually take place.
That's great.
So let me ask you, just kind of as a student, because I know there's students out there that, maybe in high school and have a lot of social or academic, pressures. Tell me about the pressures that you have as a student at MLK. It could be social or academic, whatever you want to talk about.
Well, social-wise, I was, because you watch TV and you get this idea of what high school is going to be like. It may be like that at some other high schools, but MLK it defies that sort of outfit that you see on TV. So like it's sort of a big family. Mm-hmm. Everybody is sort of young, or a bunch of smart young people, and so. Socially, there's not that many pressures. You get to find your groove, your group of people, and you get to have fun. Academically, that's where the real pressure comes in, because for myself and many others are taking AP classes throughout the day, getting rid of our study halls just to take more classes, which I've done every year since freshman year, and it's killed me since. But definitely academically, keeping up with things is the biggest pressure you have.
So if you had something you could say to the audience, like students who are listening to what you are going through, like, oh my gosh, that's what I'm going through, what would you tell them, like, to help cope with that?
Don't procrastinate. I mean that sincerely. At MLK, it's procrastination. We literally, you can give us a week to do the project. We won't do it till the night before, or even the morning before, or the morning of, shall I say.
Hey, don't get it twisted. Somewhere out in America, sometimes teachers do that too. So,
We're supposed to tell those things.
I know,
We're
right?
always supposed to look like we've got it together, right?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So then what do you do for fun, Blayne, to balance out all that academic intensity?
Well, most of the things I do for fun are actually mostly academic. I do, as I said, trombone. I play with the Nashville, I can't remember the name, a youth orchestra at Blair called Curb. We're top orchestra in the state, just about. And I do that for fun. It's very academically challenging there too, because it's a whole different field. Other things I do for fun, like it's mostly engineering. I'm in the MLK robotic club, which we just really built this year. This is our first year doing the VEX competitions, and we rose all the way up to state before we got knocked out by not just a good team, but the team that won Worlds last year was the team that knocked us out. So.
I mean, if you're going to go out.
Yeah, I like it.
Big notice.
So, okay, last question. I'm going to let April have the last word. So, April, as a teacher, new, inspiring, I can imagine you either have these great feelings or sometimes you can have frustrations. If there was something that you wanted the students and teachers out there to know, maybe a teacher out there that might be frustrated and maybe thinking about switching careers, if you wanted to give anybody out there a message about your experience as a teacher, what would you want to tell them?
I would say it's very important. Don't give up on your students. Sometimes you may have students that are struggling, but they will get it together. Like, you will make an impact in their lives just like they make impacts in our lives. And get to know them, build relationships with them, understand kind of what makes them tick. Because sometimes when someone's not successful in your class, it's not because they genuinely don't want to be successful or they can't. It could just be that maybe they're going through something right then. And if you kind of reach out, you'll find out more. And the more you know about the student, the better they'll perform for you, because you know what makes them tick. And in the end, when it comes all down to it, when you see them walk across that stage, it's all worth it in the end. So don't give up on them.
I can definitely say that there are a lot of people that could learn from that statement. Well, I really want to thank you both for coming out to the show. Thank you so much, and we hope to have you back one day. It's been a pleasure having you.